Hello, everyone. Welcome to your third music class. This is what I have planned for you today. We are going to begin with our greeting chant that we've been working on. I'm going to add some more motions for you. Then we're going to do some singing echoes to get our voices warmed up. We are going to work with the song Rock Island Line today. I'm going to teach you a new song. And then yesterday we were working with Peter and the Wolf. So you are going to be listening to the remainder of the story today. And please watch that story. It's important to watch it so that you'll understand when we add the music to it. All right, let's get started. All right, boys and girls, let's review our socially distant way to greet. All right, stand up. Here we go. Say hey, say hi. A wave works too. Thumbs up or a wink. Air hug, jazz hand, salute. Say hey, say hi. A wave works too. Elbow bump, foot bump, air fist bump, dude. All right. So let's work on that second phrase. We have elbow bump, foot bump, air fist bump, which means you're not really touching, you're just doing it in the air. Like if I'm somebody else, we're like this, okay? And then dude, you can do what you want for dude. So improvise something good for me. All right, here we go. Before we do that, how about if we just do that second phrase? Say hey, say hi, a wave works too, elbow bump, foot bump, air fist bump, dude, or whatever you're doing for dude. Okay? Now let's try the whole thing. Here we go. Say hey, say hi, a wave works too. Oh, I messed up. Let's try again. Whoops. Say hey, say hi, a wave works too. Thumbs up or a wink. Air hug, jazz hand, salute. Say hey, say hi, a wave works too. Elbow bump, foot bump, air fist bump, dude. If you need to roll it back and try it again, go ahead. Tomorrow I'll be challenging you with this. All right, boys and girls, I'd like you to be my echo and we'll get our voices warmed up and ready to go. Here we go. I'll go first and then I'll say ready, go, and you'll echo me. Do, so, ready, go. Do, so, ready, here I go. Ti, so, your turn. Ti, re, so, your turn. Ti, re, so. Do, so, your turn. Do, so. Fa, la, your turn. Fa, la. Do, so, your turn. Do, so. Ti, so, your turn. Do, your turn. Do, do, do. Thank you for warming up with me. Now we're ready to go. Let's review the song I taught you last time, the Rock Island Line. Let me sing it first for you. It went, I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. I say the Rock Island Line is the road to ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. I'm so busy playing ukulele, I'm forgetting to breathe. All right, you sing it with me this time, okay? I say the Rock Island ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. All right, so if you're looking at the lyrics right here, you see a symbol over the first three notes. It kind of looks like a loop and a. And in music, that's called a fermata. That's an Italian word. But it's for short, sometimes it's called, or for silly, it's sometimes called a bird's eye. And it means the group leader, usually a conductor, can hold out those notes longer than it's supposed to be. So I could go, I say the Rock Island Line. Okay, so that's important to remember. Today we're going to work with this song with steady beat. So we're going to sing the first three notes, and after the first three notes, we are going to keep the beat. Okay, here we go. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. Say the Rock Island Line is the road to ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. So let's look at the music for Rock Island Line. And you might see right at the beginning, there's a 4. And that 4 tells you two things. First, it tells you how many beats are in a measure, 4. And if you don't remember that, that's something we'll review a little later this year, because it tells you another thing that's really more important. It tells you that the beats come in a pattern. And that pattern is strong, weak, 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 strong, weak, weak, weak. So this time when we do it, after the first 3 long notes, we're going to show our strong and weak beats like this. Strong, weak, weak, weak. I'm going to give you a strategy. Watch me. Because if you're not with me, you're putting your strong beat in the wrong place. Okay, here we go. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. I say the Rock Island Line is the road to ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. All right. So could you kind of feel that that one spot did have a stronger feeling to it than the other spots? Anyway, let's keep going here. So we're going to learn a strong and weak beat pattern to go with this. And it's really a good one to do with a partner. So if you have somebody working with you, you can do it with them. But if not, you can just do a pretend partner out in front of you. We're going to go strong, weak, weak, weak. That's going to be strong, weak, weak. Join with me. But again, that pattern will start after the 3 long notes. All right. By the way, if you don't have somebody to do it with, you can pretend you're hitting my hands, and I'll pretend I'm hitting yours. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to go slow to start. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. I say the Rock Island Line is the road to ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. All right, this time let's speed it up a little. Here we go. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. I say the Rock Island Line is the road to ride. I say the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island line. What? Faster? Okay, here we go. I say the Rock Island line is a mighty good road. I say the Rock Island line is the road to ride. Say the Rock Island line is a mighty good road. If you want to ride it, got to ride it like you find it. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island line. Now, if you want to go any faster, you're on your own. If you need more practice with that, roll the videotape back and watch it again. So our song for next time is called Bim Bum, and it's all nonsense words. It's bim, bum, and biddy. All right? You can see our next lesson is going to be about word rhythm, but we can talk about that next time. So, whoops, let me move my face. And I'm going to try and enlarge this for you. Gotta move my face again. And it's a lot of notes, right? But really, you just need to be concerned with the lyrics. So it goes, I'll sing it for you. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Then it goes almost the same. It just puts a little bit of an ending on the phrase. It goes, bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. In fact, my really good musicians might be thinking, well, the lyrics are exactly the same. The notes look the same, like they start with T's, and they go to these kinds of notes, and then these. They look exactly the same. But if you're watching where the notes are on the staff, right here, this one goes lower and higher, bim bum, and this one goes bim bum. Okay? So let's do the first two lines together. It goes, bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. That's a lot, isn't it? Let's do it again. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. All right, then we go up to a higher note, high do. It goes, bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Try that. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. And just like the first two phrases, the second two phrases are what we call similar. The only thing different is the sound of the notes here. Here we go. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Let's try the whole song. Here we go. I know you don't know it well yet. Just try it. Here we go. I'm going to give you a hint, though. You need to sing it along with me. If you're not singing, then what we're doing next is going to be more difficult for you. Okay? Here we go. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. One more time. Here we go. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, biddy bum, bim bum. Bim bum, bitty bitty bum, bitty bum, bitty bitty bum, bim bum. Yeah, that's a lot to learn. So if you need to, roll the video back and watch it again. And you'll have to see what we're going to do with that tomorrow. I have Silly Sally with me today. Hello. So yesterday you started learning about Peter and the Wolf. And what we learned is that Peter and the Wolf is a story, but there was a famous Russian composer, Sergei Prokofiev, who took the story and made it musical. We just don't know how yet. I can't wait to learn how. Well, for today, we are going to listen to the second part of the story. It was a pretty good story. So we're going to listen to the second half of the story, and when the story's over, the video will end. So that'll end our lesson for today, except you have 2 things to do today. Okay? So 1, you'll have to go back into the Google Classroom, and you will have to mark the assignment turned in. Okay. Then you will have to answer your question for the day. Okay, I can do that. Well, I'm sure you can. So enjoy the rest of the story. Yay! I can't wait to hear the end. Grandfather left Peter and took the gate key with him. He did not trust Peter to stay in the garden. Peter was bored and unhappy in the garden. The small bird tried to help. He flew to a tree and sang to Peter. But Peter still didn't cheer up. Meanwhile, the hungry wolf did come out of the forest. The small bird saw him first and called in alarm to warn the duck. The cat heard the bird's warning as well. She hissed in fright and climbed straight up the tree. The duck was so frightened that she jumped right out of the pond. The wolf was coming, and he was the biggest wolf she had ever seen. The wolf saw the duck and ran after her. In a moment he caught her. He opened his mouth and swallowed her in one gulp. She was gone. A feather or 2 on the grass was all that was left of the poor duck. The small bird and the cat sat up in the tree together, looking down at the wolf. The bird had forgotten to be afraid of the cat, and the cat had forgotten about eating the bird. The wolf was very pleased with the fine dinner he had caught. He saw the bird and the cat, and he thought, do I see more dinner? Above him, the small bird and cat were too frightened to move. Peter had seen what happened. Silly duck, he sighed. She would have been safe if she stayed in the pond. Then he had an idea. He knew he could save the cat and the bird, and he wasn't afraid of the wolf. Peter found a long rope and ran into the garden with it, straight to the garden wall. He tied the rope carefully around his waist and climbed the wall. As soon as Peter was sitting safely on top of the wall, he untied the rope from his waist and began to make a loop in one end of it. From his high seat, Peter could see down into the meadow. He could see the wolf, and he could hear him growling. Peter could see the small bird and the cat sitting in the tree as well. The cat's tail was beating against the tree branch, but the bird was absolutely still. Peter knew they were both very frightened. The wolf was still prowling around the tree. Round and round he went. Sometimes he stopped to rest, and then he looked up at the cat and the bird in the branches above him. He growled horribly. The cat and the bird thought he was growling at them, but he wasn't. The wolf was beginning to feel quite ill. Inside him, the duck was still alive, and she was kicking his stomach hard. She was very cross, and she thought that if she could make the wolf hiccup,
she might be able to jump out. The wolf felt worse and worse. Peter called out to the bird, "Fly round the wolf's head. Make him look at you. Then he won't see what I'm doing." The wolf was growling so loudly he couldn't hear what Peter was saying. So the bird flew around the wolf's head. The wolf snapped at him, but he kept flying round. Soon the wolf felt quite dizzy. As the cat watched, she thought how brave the bird was, and she was glad after all that she hadn't eaten him for dinner. Peter finished making the loop at the end of the rope. He tied one end of the rope to the tree, and he let the other end down carefully over the wolf. By now the wolf was feeling very ill indeed, and he did not see Peter above him with the rope. Then suddenly something pulled his tail very hard. It was Peter's rope. Now the wolf couldn't run away. The more he tried, the tighter the rope became around his tail. All at once there was a noise in the forest. There were shouts and cries and bangs and crashes. People were coming through the trees and bushes, blowing horns as they came. They were hunting the wolf. When the hunters came out of the forest into the meadow, they saw the wolf beneath the tree, and they blew their horns to frighten him. Peter shouted, "Hey, come over here! We've caught the wolf, and he can't get away!" The hunters went up to the tree. They looked down at the wolf held fast at the end of Peter's rope. Then they looked at Peter, the bird, and the cat, and they were astonished. "How did you manage to catch the wolf?" they asked Peter. So he told them what had happened. The hunters looked at the wolf, who was now lying down with his eyes closed. "What are you going to do with him?" they asked. "He doesn't look terribly fierce." The wolf opened his eyes and groaned. "I don't think he's feeling very well," said Peter. "We're going to take him to the zoo. The zookeepers will look after him, and he won't be able to catch any more of my friends and eat them for dinner." Peter told the hunters about the duck. "Poor duck," they said. Just then Grandfather came into the garden and saw Peter on top of the garden wall. "What's going on now?" he called. "What are you doing on the wall?" Then he saw the hunters and the wolf, and his face grew pale. When he went nearer, he saw that Peter was holding the rope, and the rope was holding the wolf. At that moment, Grandfather's face grew red with rage. Before he could say one word, the hunters told him how Peter had caught the wolf. Now Grandfather didn't know whether to be proud of Peter or to be angry with him. He glared at his grandson, but there was a twinkle in his eye. So they all set off for the zoo with Peter leading the procession. After him came the hunters with the wolf. The wolf was feeling better because the duck was having a rest. She had stopped kicking inside his stomach. Grandfather followed the wolf, and the cat walked beside him. The small bird went with them. The hunters blew their hunting horns, and everyone came out to see the wolf. They laughed and cheered, and they ran to tell their friends about it. The cat and the bird were happy because the wolf was going away. The hunters were happy because Peter had caught the wolf. Grandfather was happy because Peter was safe. Even the wolf was glad that he was going to a new home. He hoped the keepers would take away the pain in his stomach. The duck was not too happy inside the wolf, but she knew that the zookeepers would soon rescue her. She quacked and quacked. All the people who heard her were puzzled and kept looking around them. Where could she be? Peter was happiest of all because he knew the wolf was never going to be hungry again. And that is the end.